Time for questions. Do you believe in ghosts? A survey last year by u.gov says 2 in 5 Americans believe that ghosts exist, and 1 in 5 think they've actually seen one. Erin Egnatz is a paranormal investigator and the author of Hauntings Around America. Recently talked to us about how she does the work exploring seemingly haunted locations. You're a paranormal investigator. Tell us what that means.
It's a person who has a deep interest in the paranormal and goes out to all these different places trying to find ghosts, really.
I love it. How'd you get started?
It started way back. I took a trip to Gettysburg when I was 14, and I had my first little paranormal experience where I saw some ghostly soldiers, and it kind of stuck with me. I got to high school, and my history teacher was actually a ghost hunter, and he would kind of tie history into ghost hunting. And I asked to come along on a couple of the investigations, and he's like, yeah, why not? And it just like blossomed from there. And I've been addicted ever since.
Wow. Sounds like you're the coolest history teacher of all time.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know, what's interesting is that when my kids ask me, do ghosts exist? I say, no, honey, they're not real. But there's a quote from Hamlet and Shakespeare that says there are more things in heaven or earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. I mean, that's just kind of it. We just don't know. So some people feel that ghosts are actually all around us. Do you feel that way?
I do. It took me a while to get to that point to where I thought so, because, I was a skeptic for a long time. But after doing this for so long, yeah, I think that they're all around me everywhere.
What are some of the ways you can tell if there is a ghost around you?
Usually it's the activity. I know that there's some people who say that they're mediums or whatever and can sense them. That's not really me. It's more of I rely on equipment, all the scientific EMF readers, voice recorders, cameras, that kind of thing. And I have to have pretty solid proof before I actually think, yeah, this place is haunted.
Really? Okay. And so what does some of that equipment do? Is it like kind of in Ghostbusters where he had that thing that was that thing?
That would be so cool if it was, but no, it's pretty much just the EMF reader. It measures electronic magnetic fields. I know like plumbers and whatnot use it, but for us, the theory is that spirits give off this magnetic charge. And so it lights up if they're nearby.
Ooh, okay. That's really interesting. What are some haunted spots that you feel like were the most powerful? I know you mentioned Gettysburg. I remember once I was at Alcatraz and I had some very scary feelings there.
Tombstone, Arizona, a really haunted location. Pretty much anywhere in New Orleans. It's got a lot going on down there. Savannah, Georgia, the Queen Mary in California, in Waverly Hills in Louisville. That's a really, really haunted location. It's a TB hospital, or it was a TB hospital. And it seems like the spirits are still really hanging around there.
Interesting. What is one of the scariest places you've ever been?
It's a toss-up between an old insane asylum and a old jail. I'll go with the jail. Mobsters back in the day were all held there. So, they weren't very good in life. So the theory is they're not very good in death and they want to, mess around with you.
Where is this so I can avoid it?
Yeah, it's in Crown Point, Indiana. It's where John Dillinger made his escape back in the day, and a lot of Al Capone's men were held there.
I went to an insane asylum that has been now turned into a hotel in Jerome, Arizona. That was terrifying, and I enjoyed the food a lot, but not the vibe. When it comes to Hollywood, and I mentioned Ghostbusters, and I absolutely don't mention that as a way to knock what you do at all, but what does Hollywood get wrong or right about ghosts and hauntings?
I think, especially with the TV shows, you expect a whole bunch of activity if you go to these places. It's just constant. But in reality, you're lucky if you get one instance throughout the whole night. And it's just not as common. Maybe these people are lucky. I don't know. But usually paranormal investigating is a lot of hurry up and wait.
Right. And it sounds to me like you use a lot of equipment. You're not basing this on feel. So is that why you decided to write these books?
Yes, I like to explore history a lot. So when I do these locations, I like to say, here's the history of the place. Here's why it's said to be haunted. And unless I've actually had an investigation where I've come up with some evidence, I just leave it at that. It's said to be haunted. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if I've actually had activity, I'll write my experience on it.
So lots of haunted places apparently around America. Do you believe in ghosts, Susie?
I don't know if I really believe in ghosts. I do believe that the people that have kind of passed on or that we care about are around us.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I believe that too. I noticed that after my mom died, people told me to look for signs, and I would see signs everywhere. I do have one weird story I'll try to share real quick. I was staying at the Hotel Del Coronado in San Diego, which is supposedly very haunted.
Yes.
And in the middle of the night, I got up. It was freezing, and as I laid back down, I heard something sounded like a coin drop on the floor. And when I woke up in the morning and I went to go grab my phone or whatever, on the nightstand was a Susan B. Anthony coin sitting there. Now, Susan B. Anthony obviously never stayed at that hotel, but it was just a weird thing that happened. And I was like, how did I miss? Because, it's a big coin. How did I miss that?
And I think that freezing thing is very common when people talk about experiences they've had with people that have passed on, or ghosts, the paranormal, if you will. That's very cool.
We should have the Unsolved Mysteries music playing right now.
Right.
But it was interesting. It was an interesting experience. I don't know. But again, I like your idea of knowing that our loved ones are around us.
I think part of it is you're not sure. You hear the stories that it's haunted, and then you get freaked out.
You're not sure. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for joining us today. You can check our website for more information. Always, we've got more content out there, and you can always send us an email. Go out and enjoy your new day. We'll see you next time.